Okay, so fresh off of Tyson Fury beating Makhmudov in a comfortable 12-round decision. A lot of people were hating on Tyson Fury for this performance. For me, I don't know what else you expect. Is he going to be past his prime? Is he going to be old? Is he going to be a bit slower? Of course he is. He's how old he is? He's in his mid to late 30s, and he's been out the ring for well over a year, and he's coming off back-to-back losses. It would be ridiculous to expect Tyson Fury to be back to, prime Tyson Fury. The Klitschko fights, the Wilder fights, etc. It wouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? Like, my expectations was never that going into this fight. I was expecting more from Makhmudov because Makhmudov showed more against Dave Allen. But again, like I said in my preview to this fight, Dave Allen and Tyson Fury cannot be in the same conversation in terms of quality of boxing. In terms of skill at the sport of boxing, Tyson Fury is leagues beyond Dave Allen and showed to be leagues beyond Makhmudov as well. Makhmudov really caused Tyson Fury no trouble at all. And again, going into this fight, like, a lot of my predictions were correct because really the only variable in this fight was how much did Tyson Fury have left in the tank. If he was absolutely shot to bits, then maybe Makhmudov could have done something. But as long as Tyson Fury had, half a heartbeat and was even a fraction of the fighter he was before, he'd handle Makhmudov. The jab and the movement alone is more than 90% of heavyweights can even handle. Makhmudov being one of those 90% that cannot even handle a bit of movement and a couple jab feints and a jab to the face. Like, Makhmudov can't handle it. And majority of heavyweights can't handle that, by the way. Let's have that right. Tyson Fury, even now, would be more than a handful for majority of heavyweights in the division. He's still right near the top, in my opinion. But Makhmudov had a moment, first minute of the first round, where he threw an overhand and it seemed to sort of land, but it wasn't super flush, wasn't super clean, wasn't anything that really even hurt Tyson. Makhmudov basically caused Tyson next to no trouble throughout this entire fight. And again, like I said, as expected with Makhmudov, come the third, fourth, fifth round, this dude's going to be blowing out of his arse. And the second half of this fight, this guy was absolutely knackered. And he really had no chance at beating Tyson Fury. Once it got past the fifth, Makhmudov's chances at winning this fight went down from about 2%, from about 10% of winning the fight to about 1 or 2%. This dude had no chance the later this fight went because Tyson Fury was working the body nicely in the clinch, hitting the body, getting those doughy, there's not a ton on those shots, but believe me, you do not want a guy the size of Makhmudov or Tyson Fury, having you in the clinch and punching you to the body. Even though these aren't like super flush, sat down on body shots, they're still going to hurt and they're still going to take a bit out of you. Especially when Tyson Fury's digging them in, he's digging them in a bit. And over time, that's going to take something out of you. It just is. Like I said, Makhmudov really had no opportunities to really even win this fight. He wasn't able to pin Tyson Fury down. And again, going into this fight, the only chance Makhmudov had of winning was if he was able to pin Tyson Fury down. And he couldn't. And I don't think many heavyweights could. The only heavyweight that could was Usyk. The only heavyweight that could pin Tyson Fury down was Alexander Usyk. No other boxing heavyweight division is going to be able to do that. Of course, there's the talks about AJ, and I'm talking about that fight in a separate video for sure. But a very easy win for Tyson Fury here. Like I said it a million times now. The jabs and the movement is more than enough to beat majority of heavyweights right now. Even those people that are saying, well, Tyson Fury's shot to bits. This guy went in there with a top 20 guy and shut him out. Makhmudov had no opportunities in there. If you're telling me you can go in there with a top 20 guy, shut him out, and people are saying, well, you're shot to bits now, bro. These people, they need to give their head a wobble, in my opinion. I don't think Tyson Fury looked that bad. Is he as powerful as he once was? Probably not. But again, he's not sitting down in his power. And again, these people that watch boxing and just seem to not be able to grasp the I don't want to say the basics because it is quite advanced what I'm talking about, but granted. Makhmudov, even late in the fight, Tyson Fury was wary of Makhmudov's power. You'd be silly not to be. Makhmudov's got a lot of knockouts in his resume. Even when he was tired and slowed down and the back end of the fight where he really wasn't causing any trouble, Tyson Fury in the back of his head was still wary of the power. So, Tyson Fury isn't going to sit down on shots while he's wary of the power, because when you sit down on shots, you become a stationary target. Right? So that's why Tyson Fury didn't really go for the knockout. I mean, there's a power issue as well. Tyson Fury's never been a monstrous puncher, even though he's got a number of knockouts in his resume. He's never been a super monstrous, destructive puncher like that. But especially against a guy who's as dangerous as Makhmudov, why take the risk? And that's ultimately Tyson Fury's style, and that's what he's thinking, and that's why he didn't go for the knockout, and why he didn't force the issue a bit more. Why take the risk? Get the rounds under your belt and keep it pushing. Get in there, get out, injury-free, hopefully I have to go to the hospital after. No cuts. I don't believe he had any cuts. No cuts, no injuries. Get the 12 rounds under your belt and keep it pushing. And it's exactly what Tyson Fury did there. Great performance from him, in my opinion. In my opinion, it was a great performance because he was dominant. He didn't go life and death with Makhmudov. If he went life and death with Makhmudov and just about scraped a decision, then I'd be like, okay, well, Tyson Fury shot to bits. This guy shut him out. Do you know what I mean? He shut him out, and in my opinion, that's all there really is to it. Some people have their opinion and think, well, Tyson Fury should have knocked out Makhmudov in a couple rounds. That's not Tyson Fury's style. The only people he does that to is people who has no respect for, no respect for their power, like a Deontay Wilder. By that point, even though Deontay Wilder, when he fought him in the second and third fight, was still a dangerous puncher, Tyson Fury had been there. He took his biggest punch in the first fight, and he got up. So Tyson Fury could go in there with the second and third fights, and he beat the brakes off of Deontay Wilder in those second and third fights. Let's have it right. Beat the brakes off of him. And he was able to do that because he had no fear of the power. Of course, he'd been out the ring for a while against Makhmudov, and Makhmudov is known for being a big puncher. He clearly had, even a little bit, that fear. Rightfully so. It's smart. That's what keeps you winning. That's what keeps you alive. So, yeah, a good fight for Tyson Fury. Good to get some rounds under his belt, especially after a long time out. Dominant win. I'd be curious to know what you guys thought of the fight. What do you guys think of Tyson Fury's performance? Or what do you think is next for Makhmudov as well? Let me know in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.